All right, hello and welcome to this intro to being you at Andamans. We'll be talking a lot about what exactly is being you, and we'll also be talking about what um, what the trip to Andamans would be like. What all we have lined up for you guys, and yeah, go ahead, Anisha. What were you saying?
I was saying that while I have been doing all this research and Googling all the lovely resorts and checking out an Andamans, I feel like I'm already there. I feel like my class has already started.
I think it just started for me too. I mean, I can already especially looking at all the beach photographs and stuff, and we're like, okay, which all beaches to visit and stuff, and it
And
is.
it's just created so much space for me. It's just expanded out.
But
It's
the beaches
lovely.
over there are that space,
Yeah.
and the best part is the sea water or the underwater life.
And the aquamarine blue waters, it's so enticing.
Oh my god!
Just wanted to say that.
So
Yeah,
we
start.
have a lot of fun planned for you guys. From scuba diving to snorkeling to going out, hiring boats and going out into the sea, and maybe we'll see if we can throw that in also. That will be the underwater walk, sea walk, right? Now, all that is optional again. You don't have to do it if you don't feel like, but if you choose it, how does it get any better than this? So that is um, it's not included in the pricing of the class. Class pricing is different, and then the stay and all these are other optional. All the other activities are all optional. Whether you want to go scuba diving or snorkeling or whatever it is all optional. So nobody's going to force you. It's just a choice. All right. So welcome to Being You intro. So before I get started, what does being you mean to you, and what attracts you towards this class? Would like to answer. You just unmute and talk.
Can I say?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so to give you a brief background about what I do, I'm a yoga teacher and I have been teaching and practicing yoga for over a decade, and I'm a life coach as well. It so happened I received the forward about this class on one of the groups from my friends, and coincidentally I had just returned from Goa and I had my first scuba dive experience on the Arabian Sea. And since it was my maiden dive, of course I didn't experience it the way I should have had experience if I was a seasoned diver. So yes, the picture on the post on the WhatsApp drew me towards understanding more. And anyway, I'm planning to go to Andamans in this year and take my beginner's course in scuba, because I certainly want to experience with my full calm on, not panic, and manage my equipments and come up surface and take some breath and go inside and again begin to look creatures around. No, I want to stay inside without coming up for good 1 hour or so and click my own pictures. So that's one thing is on my mind, and that drew me towards the class. And what does being means to you? Being is your inner space, your stillness, what you are in your core, being true to your real nature, and to each its own. So what my being might be completely different from others who are present on this call. So being true to my inner core, my nature, my beingness is what being to me.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing all that. Yes, we are planning some scuba diving sessions over there. And some people, like some of us are also planning to stay back after the class and do the whole, like there's a whole 3-day course where you're certified by the PADI, something, the divers over there. And a PADI certificate course is also, which is there on the lines, which is again an optional course which you can take later on. So I'll definitely be staying back to go ahead with that. I'm also a scuba diver, and I've learned scuba diving from the Indian Naval Diving Team. That was long back when I was in college. So it's been quite a few years since then. So I'm looking forward to choosing this all over again and see how it goes. So yeah, that's something that's really, really beautiful. And it's a total different thing to experience totally. And the underwater, all the fishes and the corals, and it's just very, very, very beautiful over there. So absolutely clear water, pristine clear water. So yeah, looking forward to that. Now, who else would like to tell me what does being you mean to you guys? You can just unmute and talk, and it'll be really nice if I can see your faces, because it's not fun just talking to names and black screens. So just be on the camera. It's so much more fun like that. What does being you mean to you? Okay. Cool. Does any one of you have any questions about this class?
Come again, I didn't get your question.
Priti, can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
We all have our different definitions of being you. So, like, what does this class bring to us? What is it that is so beautiful and so liberating about the Being You class? Because I've heard a lot of people saying that it's a very expansive, liberating class. So, what is it that Being You can bring to each one of us beyond our definitions that we have?
All right. So you know what happens is, just 1 minute. Let me just mute everyone, and then when you want us speaking, you can unmute, because there's a lot of disturbance here. All right. So what happens is, most of us, tend to use the maximum energy against us to stop ourselves, to stop creating everything that we'd like to choose. So how many of you actually, so how much energy have you been using against you to stop creating all that you'd like to choose? Do you realize how many of you do that? And you do it subconsciously, right? So what we'll be talking about in this class is, where are you guys stopping yourself? Where are you not willing to be everything you are, because you're busy trying to fit in to the roles that others have assigned for you? You're busy trying to be something that others have decided you need to be present here in this world. And at times, most of the time, you're just subduing yourself to cater to everybody else's happiness, so that you are not judged to be somebody different, right? And at times, most of us don't even realize that we're doing that. Most of us don't even realize that we are actually subduing bits and pieces of ourselves to sort of fit in this world, fit in with the people we are with. So how many of you, when you just walk into a room, try to occupy the least possible space energetically, because you can perceive that others will be uncomfortable around you, or they're not comfortable around you? So the moment you walk into the room and you sense that others are not comfortable, you immediately go to being the lowest possible denominator of your being, just so that others around you can be very comfortable. And then later on, when you choose to be something, or you make certain choices in life, which is actually true for you, and that's when others turn around and say, but how can so-and-so choose so much? How can this person create so much? This person couldn't even talk, right? Or this person doesn't even know how to speak a sentence. How will this person create so much? And so on. There'll be like a whole lot of judgments again showing up. How many of you are not willing to be the tall poppy who stands out? Because you feel the moment you start standing out, the moment you become unstoppable, the minute you start showing up very dynamically, there'll be people who will be there to vilify you, judge you, and cut you down. So everything that brought up, let's destroy and uncreate that, please. Right, wrong, good, bad, what for college, boys and beyond. So what does it mean to be you? How do you know you're being you? You like yourself. You care a lot about the people around you, a lot, and whatever they choose. Not about their judgments, but you genuinely wish well for them. And then There's no awareness that you have to avoid, good or bad, whatever. An awareness is an awareness. That doesn't mean you need to separate from people. Okay, everything fits into your world. You are not fitting in with other people's world, but they all fit in with yours because you are willing to accept each one of them without any judgments. And then you can be totally present with everything and everyone. Okay, and then you have a dynamic sense of peace. Yet you may be quiet enough to start a whole tsunami of change with your little finger. Okay, you're that potent, that magical. You're magic walking. With every step, something new and wondrous is added to your life. Okay, and you're constantly changing. You're not willing to just be stuck. You're constantly creating and choosing more. So what I was just saying right now, these sentences that I was saying is actually Dr. Dain's checklist of how to know that you're being you. When there is this lightness in your world, that's when you're actually truly being you. So that is what you are. That is what you came here to. You just have to start owning it. Now, so this is not a class that can be defined. Of course, yes, there's going to be a manual. It's a 2 full day class. This comes with a manual. The manual will have a lot of tools and processes. Yet, it cannot be defined. Okay, each class will take its own shape, depending on the kind of questions that you guys ask. There is no topic that we will not discuss. Whatever comes up, whatever shows up, whether it's with your relationships or business or your health or money, whatever it is that we're talking about, or maybe kids, whatever shows up during that time, whatever questions you ask, that's what will create that class as dynamically. Of course, yes, we will be going through the manual also. Now, the thing that's the most difficult for most people to be is to be themselves. Because most people tend to put on a mask and showcase only a particular version of themselves that they feel comfortable putting forth to the world. That version which will not be judged, right? So most people are just playing safe, and that's not fun. Okay, so we will be talking about a lot of things. We'll be talking about a lot of places where you're actually stopping yourself, whether you're aware of it or not. Because if you were not stopping yourself, you would be everything that you can be. And if you feel that you're not yet choosing to be everything that you are, then maybe it's time for a discussion to figure out, to find out what exactly is going on. What are you stopping yourself for? Okay. And another thing, so if you were truly being you and absolutely undefined, is it possible for anyone to actually reject you? So how many of you feel rejected half the time? And are those people actually rejecting you, or the image or the definition or the point of view that you've created for them to judge? Right? So when you choose to be, when you choose to hold a greater space of allowance for more people, okay, including yourself, despite whatever images those people are also putting up in front of you and for themselves, or despite whatever images that they're projecting to keep their separateness intact. Okay, so what if those barriers, those images and separations are just barriers? And what when you sense or feel that they're rejecting you, what if they are actually rejecting bits and pieces of themselves that they are not willing to be, know, perceive, and receive about themselves? So just know when people are being that energy with you, it's got nothing to do with you. It's got everything to do with what they're not willing to receive about themselves. Okay, so my invitation for each one of you would be to stop pretending that you're weak and not strong enough. And what happens is when you come across as nice and mild and nice, in the hope that people will be good and kind to you, they just step all over you. Okay. For the longest time, I think I've dealt with something like this, where I thought if I'm good, if I genuinely care for people, and if I wish well for them, they would wish the same for me. No, it doesn't happen like that. People show all sorts of different versions of themselves, and they choose whatever they choose because they can choose it. Okay. I used to wonder, why would someone be unkind to me, or why would someone just say anything right on my face and get away with it? And I realized one thing: the fact that I was not willing to be the killing energy with people is what gave them the right to just walk all over me and talk to me in a particular way. The moment I started choosing to be that killing energy is when people were like, okay, this, now they cannot sort of go beyond a particular point with me, right? It's about you owning everything you are. That doesn't mean, when I'm talking about choosing to be the killing energy, that doesn't mean you have to make this weird face or, look aggressive or just go and catch hold of somebody's neck and strangle them. It's not about that. It's about being that energy that you mess with me and I will kill you. And you can just be that energy while you're smiling sweetly. You don't have to look aggressive or anything. Okay. Now, a few years ago, I'd gone to South Africa to attend a 7-day event. And over there, I took a session with Dr. Dain. And so I just asked him, he's like, if there's anything you could get out of this session, what would it be? And I said, I'd like to be more visible. Okay. Because that was my way of hiding myself or making myself invisible so that nobody gets to judge me or nobody gets to hurt me. That was my way of creating a distance. Right? So when I asked to be more visible, and you know how he's perceiving the energy when he's talking to you, when you ask, okay, this is what I'd like, and he's just perceiving the energy. And he's like, he just looked at me from top to bottom and he's like, what makes you think you're not visible? And I was like, no, I want to be more visible in the world. I want people to know me. I mean, because I've had people just look through me and just walk past me without even acknowledging my presence. So I was like, I really want to be more visible. And he's like, all right, we'll work on that. But after the session, he's like, if you think you being nice and kind and mild would make people really like you, you're mistaken. They'll just literally walk all over you. So he says, have you been going out for the safaris? I said, yes, I am. He says, did you see a lion? I was like, I did. And he was amazing. And he's like, so is lion the biggest animal in the jungle? But he's known as the king of the jungle, right? And I was like, yeah, he is. He's like, so what is it about the lion? What makes him the king of the jungle? It's actually because he's willing to be the killing energy. He's not willing to give himself up for anybody. You mess with the lion will kill you. That's it. But if you look at the lion, they've got the cutest face. Okay. I keep watching a lot of videos of all lions and tigers and leopards. I just find them really fascinating. But somewhere they are being that energy. They're just owning everything that they are. Okay. Without making themselves less. They're willing to take in the beauty and acknowledge the beauty of everyone and yet not make themselves less. So that's what being you invites you to. Okay, this is just one part of what the class will be. There's so much more that we'll be discussing there. Okay. So why do people judge mostly? They judge you to control you. They judge you because you're being something in the world that's an invitation. And that's something that they would like to be. yet they're not choosing that for themselves because of whatever stories of limitations that they might be stuck with. So when they see you being something, they start judging you to stop you. Because what happens? The moment someone starts judging you, what happens? You stop doing what you're doing because it's not fun to be judged, right? So you'll either try and tell them, hey, that I'm not what you're judging me to be, or you'll just stop yourself and say, okay, cool, this is not fun. Let me just stop being too much, because then I don't need to be judged. Okay, so when I stop myself, then others will also stop judging me. Does that work for you guys? Not really, right? So judgments are what people use to control you. What if you could just choose to receive it? Receive those judgments. Just notice that it's an energy and nothing more, okay? So if you feel put down, use that as a way to stand up. Use that energy to become the change. Use that energy to actually out-create and start creating your life very dynamically. Okay? Just because someone is choosing to put you down or judging you for a particular thing, that doesn't make you that, right? You are not defined by those people's judgments of you. And why would you want to be defined anyways? Right? What are you here in this world for? What inspiration can you be to choose more? Who all can you inspire by being you? Right? So most of us are very focused on downplaying ourselves so that, nobody gets intimidated by us. And there are a lot of times that I still do that, even after attending classes, you still tend to fall back into that space where you tend to make yourself less. But you're doing that because you're somewhere aware of other people's judgments. And the moment you choose to be present and stop checking out and be present and realize, okay, what are you doing? You have the option right now, then and there, that moment onwards, to choose to be something different again, to be you again, right? That's a normal tendency that each one of us has, because we can perceive what others are feeling. We can perceive their judgments, especially empaths, when they just know what's going on for other people. So it's the natural ability to just shrink and make yourself less so that they don't feel uncomfortable. It's just that. All right. And you tend to do more of that when you check out, when you're not really present in your body. So the moment you choose to be more present with every choice you're making, with everything that you're being, things start shifting it very dynamically. All right. Okay. So when someone is pulling you down, okay, if you feel put down, use that as a way to stand up. Use that energy to become that change, to step up, to out-create, to claim and own your potency. Just choose that, okay? And if you feel limited by people, or if others are choosing to limit you in any way, you choose to be limitless. You choose to create so much. You choose to create such a phenomenal life for yourself that you leave all of them far behind, right? People who are vilifying you, who are judging you constantly, are not your people. They're doing that just to control you, okay? So when you choose not to be the effect of that, is when you'll start creating so much more dynamically. I was attending a class with Gary Douglas, okay? He's the founder of Access Consciousness. And he mentioned one thing, that one sentence has really stayed with me. He's like, if the world is not enough for you, you're not being enough in the world. So if you feel literally that the whole world is just coming down at you and overwhelming you, and there's so many issues all over the world that you have to keep dealing with all the time, constantly, it's because you're not being enough. So if the world is not enough for you, you're not being enough in the world. Everything that doesn't allow you to know, be, perceive, and receive that with total ease. Let's destroy and uncreate that, please. Right, wrong, good, bad, hot, coconut shots, boys and girls. Now, all right, I can keep talking. This is my favorite topic to talk about. Okay, so does anyone have any questions? Because I can just go on talking. There's so much more that I can keep talking about. So, does anyone have any questions about this class? It's a 2-day class. We plan to leave from here on the 4th, and we will be going first to Port Blair. We'll be staying the night there because the ferry to Havelock Island is in the morning. And so we'll be visiting 2 islands. One is Neil Island and the other is Havelock Island. Neil Island is a comparatively much quieter place. So we will be conducting the first 2 days of the class over there. We can go for scuba diving and all in the morning and conduct the class sometime during the afternoon. And then later on in the evening also. Okay, so because it gets really dark over there, it's the east coast of, the beaches are on the east coast. So the sun sets pretty early there, around 5:36. So it becomes dark around 6 o'clock. So we need to wind up earlier. And then we can continue the class later on in the evenings so that we get to see the maximum, the islands and the beaches and whatever else there is to offer. Anisha, would you like to speak more about it? We've been just doing a lot of research, a lot of hard work has been put into this. So, yes,
Okay, so I'll also share the costings, but this is going to be really exciting. I've been looking at a lot of pictures and videos of Andamans and Havelock, and it's an archipelago of islands basically. And the 2 of the most common islands is Havelock and the Neil Island. There are a lot others, but we're going to be, eventually being at these 2 islands. So we're going to be staying the night at Port Blair, either at the Lemon Tree or some other hotel, and I'll give you the costing of that as well, so you have an idea. So the price per person on the day of Port Blair is 3,750, around that much. Then we will take a ferry in the morning at around 7:30 in the morning, and we will reach the Neil Island by 9:15 hours in the morning. So we will settle down into our hotel, relax, and then, of course, maybe have a cup of tea or coffee and start the Being You class with Smriti. We can do that through lunch and, take it easy for a while, maybe go step out, take a walk at the beach. It's a lovely beach. It's also got a lot of coral, and a lot of wildlife. Apparently, you can see a lot of birds, exotic birds over there. That's what I was reading, and then we will, since the sunset is early, like Smriti said, we will restart our class in the evening. So at Neil Island, this is a beautiful resort we're looking at. Since it's so quiet and peaceful, and it's not so crowded and touristy. Of course, the rates are much cheaper than the Havelock, the more common island. And so per person for 2 nights over there will be around 6,750. So for 2 nights, you end up paying only that much. So it's basically the same rate, 3,375, around that much per night. So that's that. After 2 days of doing the Being You class, we will then take the same ferry and go back to Havelock. So Havelock and Neil Islands is just 1 hour apart. So it's very convenient. While at Neil Island, we can do like shore diving, shore snorkeling, right, Smriti?
Yeah, Neil Island will be doing, there is scuba diving facilities available, which is just an introduction to scuba diving, which is the basics, right? Which you can go via the shore only. And
yeah, so just walk into the water, right?
Walk into the water, yeah. And then they also have the option for the boat.
Yeah, I'm coming to that.
Diving.
Yeah, so even if we have any children along, then the kids can also do this, and we'll probably go through the hotel, or there's another company that I was looking at called Scuba Love, which are apparently really good. And we can just enjoy the Being You class, soak in nature. And since it's so quiet and peaceful, I think that's going to be the perfect ambience for the Being You class. And then we will move back to Havelock, take the ferry on the 7th morning and go to Havelock. We will stay at one of a really nice prime property, a 5-star called Munjo, or the Cove,
Coral Reef.
the Coral Reef. I was looking at these properties and a lot others. This works out to, again, it's at HAVELOCK, it is going to be 7,000 rupees for a twin sharing. So again, per person, it works out to 3,500 if you are sharing the room with the participant. If you choose to have the room to yourself, then you end up paying 7,000 rupees. And well, so the accommodation, you know, approximately works out to around 14 to 15,000 for 3 nights and 4 days at the Andamans. So I think this is a lovely deal. I'm really trying hard to get the best possible for all of us. We're also going to be going out on the 7th morning. It's going to be practically a free day to explore the island. So we're going to go out on a ship into the waters. We'll scuba dive. We'll go game fishing. Game fishing is when we catch like really big fish. And
really big,
really like this big. If you stretch your arms out, it's actually this big. So, and I was reading reviews, and it's a very exciting feeling to be there on the ship and catching the fish. And then eventually we will let the fish go back into the sea. We'll go deep sea diving, and we'll also be snorkeling, and even going to 1 or 2 other islands around that area. So some people have reviewed saying that they've seen the most beautiful rainbows, you know, around the lagoons and the seas and around the islands. So that's something really exciting that we will do from 8 in the morning to 12 in the afternoon. It's a 5-hour, ride by ship into the sea, and it's 5,000 rupees a person. So that sounds exciting. And the ferry ride is approximately 1,600 to 1,750 rupees per person per ferry ride. So from Port Blair to Havelock will be 1,750. Or when we travel from Port Blair to Neil Island first, it will be 750. And from Neil Islands to Havelock on the 7th of March will be 1,750. So the total for the ferry cost is working out to approximately ballpark figure 5,250. And I have totaled the class here. Our class, so all our expenses, which is the accommodation, the ferry rides, the scuba diving, going out by ship into the sea, is all working out to around 36,750. This includes your complimentary breakfast. I haven't included lunch and dinner because either we can choose an a la carte, or we can, you know, just grab what we feel like eating, or do a nice buffet lunch and, you know, pay at the counter. Buffet is around 1,000 rupees plus 18% tax, so around 1,100 rupees. You can choose to eat whatever you feel like. So 36,750 is an average of all the expenses. If you can add another 5, 6, whatever, 10,000 to food, depending upon what cuisine and what stuff you're eating. So that's that. I mean, if you're going to be having lobsters, then you're going to be paying a bomb. So that's that. The class is 51,000 Indian pricing. So if you look at both of them together, the total amount is coming to 87,750. I've just not added food.
Plus the flight tickets.
Oh yeah, I forgot, Smriti. The flight tickets is 12,500, which is a round trip. So I've looked at it from Mumbai. It's a connecting flight that leaves at 7:25 in the morning, reaching Chennai at 10:25 hours in the morning. 9:15 in the morning. We have to wait in the plane because it's a connecting flight to Port Blair. So we wait in the flight for an hour, and finally it takes off from Chennai to Port Blair at 11 in the morning, 10:30, quarter to 11, and we reach Port Blair at 1. So
we reach around 1 o'clock, and then we just check in and rest. In the evening, we'll be going for there's a prison over there in Port Blair. Yeah. We have to take a ferry and go towards, there's a light and sound show that we'll be going for in the evening. So we haven't included the pricing of that. Yeah. That is as per actuals, whoever's choosing, it's all optional, right?
Correct. So 12,500 is the air tickets, which I've included in the 36,750 round trip, which is an amazing deal.
How does it get any better than this?
Yeah, what else is
And
possible?
then also some of us will be like, we have the option to come back on the 8th, check out on the 8th and come back, take a ferry to Port Blair and board the evening flight or afternoon flight, and come back to your respective cities. Or some of us are also planning to stay back and do the full 3-day scuba diving course, which will be from 8th onwards, 8th, 9th, 10th. So we'll have to book in advance and get the slots for ourselves for that. So the sooner you guys decide, the sooner you guys give your confirmation, the easier it is for us to book everything. And otherwise, we'll go ahead and book with whoever's confirmed with us, and the rest, then you can make your own arrangements if that's what works out better. That's also okay.
Also, I wanted to say, Smriti, that on the 7th, when we are at HAVELOCK, I mean, you guys, if you want to have your own accommodation or do your own thing, if you choose to stay on at HAVELOCK, you can do that. I mean, I've like got a database of hotels. If you want to, have a low budget accommodation or something more exotic than where we are at Munjo, you can choose that. So we're free. Only for the reason of being together and coordination, we would like for all of us to be together, since we're going to be going at 8 in the morning on the 7th into the sea. So, it'll be nice that we're together. Yeah.
Yeah. So it sounds so much fun and so exciting. I'm just so looking forward to that. I'm so looking forward to the scuba diving part of it. It just has my heart, totally. And yeah, what else? Does anyone else have any questions?
If there are any questions on the expenses or the hotels or anything, you can just let me know and I'll be more than happy to give you details.
I don't know if you can post I'm just sending it to you, the chat, the link. We have a WhatsApp chat group that people can join if they want. Let me just send it to you.
Can I ask something?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so how often, how many times in a year do you plan a trip like this to Andamans?
This is the first time and the only time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, these are not, because there's a lot of planning that goes into all this, right?
I understand.
It's not fun for me to keep, forcing people or telling them that you have to attend and all. It's again optional. It's just a choice. It's just a space of showing people that there is so much more available in life that they can do, right? Yeah.
So yeah, why was I asking is, is it a recurring program which keeps on happening once in a quarter or something like this, or bi-yearly or anything? Then probably I can join next time, because this time March looks really tight for me. And it's just a 1 month of notice, so I won't be able to, and just return from Goa and things at work front is really busy.
Yeah, no, this is not a reoccurring class.
Recurring.
At least that particular destination. The class keeps happening very often.
But Andamans won't be happening again.
Online, or it is live in Mumbai. Yeah, so this Andaman is a one-off thing. We just recently conducted a class at Kabini Forest. It was a talk to the entity class, and I can't tell you how beautiful it was. There were so many people who got back to us later on saying that I wish we had joined. But see, what happens is a lot of people don't choose when they'd like to choose, even if it's calling out to them, because they'll have all sorts of reasons and justifications for not choosing, whatever reasons. Right? But later on, I would say, if a class is calling out, just go ahead and join that time. Make it happen. When you choose it, you make it happen.
Yeah.
Right? So say, for example, when you choose something, then, and you want to do it no matter what it takes, then you will be that energy to make things happen for you. So that's the time when everything else, the whole universe will conspire to move things around so that you can take out time for that. It is just, of course, it's very easy to just keep pushing it for next time. That's okay, right?
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, so this is otherwise people can plan their own trips to Andaman. That's also a different thing. It's just a group of people who are like-minded, who are going through a particular journey in life, who are willing to choose so much more and greater in their lives. What contribution can we be to that place also? and do the level over there. So when these classes, all the access classes, it actually goes, and also we are healing not just ourselves, we are being healed, yes, but we're also healing the land there. I can't even tell you how dynamically the land over there will contribute to us, and we'll also be contributing to that. So everything changed for us when we went to Kabini Forest. The animals over there, the first safari that we did, we didn't even see any animal, at least none of the predators, right? We saw the regular deer and everything, and the monkeys and langur and all. We didn't see any of the predators, and we just saw a pug mark of a leopardess. And we were like, okay, fine, because 3 hours we were there on that safari and we didn't really get to see. So we were like, what's going on? Later on, when I was conducting the class, we did those energy pulls, we did a whole lot of exercises. And that same evening, we saw so many animals. We saw elephants, we saw a leopardess on the tree. I can't even tell you the beauty of those animals when we actually see them right there in front of us. It's beautiful. And all we had said was, what contribution can we be to you? Right? What contribution can we receive and be for you? And one by one, every safari after that, they just started showing up. It was just so beautiful, the gift that they were. And ever since we've come back, none of us, I don't think any one of us who've been there, our lives are all totally changed. There's so much of communion, there's so much of receiving in different aspects of our life that has opened up. There's so much more choices that people are making. So, it's not nothing linear. There is just something so different about all this. Right? And frankly, if money was not the issue, what would you choose? So that's the question I would leave you guys with to keep asking, because when you make a choice, the money just shows up. It'll be amazing how things just start showing up. So it is just that. All right, anyone else? Okay, let me just address that. When I mentioned, right, when you're willing to be everything, when you're willing to choose, when you're not willing to give up on anything, you'll say, I'll have this, I'll have that, and I'll have that also, and I'll have everything possible, and I will make it happen. Okay. So when you are willing to be everything, the world really does rise up to meet you, to each of your demands, to everything. Okay. So when you are willing to be everything, not only you can receive much more, but you actually become the creator of your life in your reality. Right? If you ask yourself a question, okay, truth, why am I not succeeding? Okay, it's because maybe you're playing it safe, because you're focusing on being perfect, or maybe because you don't want to succeed bad enough, or maybe you're focusing on what will people say, right? Or maybe you don't have the guts. So when you choose to be everything you are, when you're focused and you're committed and you're choosing it, no matter what, is when you make things happen. It's just simple as that. Okay. And when you're choosing to be everything you are, that's not being unkind. Okay. Even though people might accuse you of that, it's the greatest kindness that you can be for yourself and for the world, because you will now no longer give up the gift that you are to become a slave to other people's realities. Okay. So being something that you are for other people is not a kindness. Okay. It's actually an unkindness to yourself. So yeah, honor you always, choose you always. Okay. Be the gift that you're here for. So this class is actually designed to empower you to know that you are the creator of your life. You can focus on all the stories, all the reasons and justifications of why you can't choose something. And that's okay. You don't really have to choose this class. There'll be plenty of other classes. You don't have to come to our Andamans, but we are choosing this and we are inviting you. So if you'd like to join us, there is a lot of things you've planned. Just come join. If it's light for you, just go ahead and join. And we plan to have a good time. Whether you're joining us or not, we are choosing it. Okay. And I would really, really, really love for each one of you to be that space for yourself and hold that space for yourself and say, this sounds like fun. I'm choosing for me too. Okay. Be willing to stand up for yourself and just choose you, no matter what. Be willing to be inconceivable. Be willing to choose for you and not against you. Okay. Be willing to receive judgments and not run from it. And you don't have to cut off bits and pieces of yourself so that others don't have to feel less than. That's their problem. Okay. Be willing to just show up dynamically, the true you. Okay. So we are really, really looking forward to it. And yes, these classes are one-off classes. These don't happen every day or every like quarterly or once a year or once in 2 years. If there's an energy that will come up, it will come up, right? If you're not choosing it now, I highly doubt you'll ever choose it again also. And that's fine. That's okay. That's again a choice. Not choosing something is also a choice, and that's absolutely fine. But this is just an invitation to be so much more than what you're choosing to be right now. And yeah, how does it get any better than this? And as I mentioned, these are all optional. The other activities are all optional. Okay, so you have a choice whether you want to go for those scuba diving courses or not. You have a choice whether you want to actually go for snorkeling or not. But if the picture called out to you, there is something in this class. Right? Anisha, you'd like to add something?
I think we've covered everything. I'm just too excited. And, I was on Dr. Dain's call the other day. He was on the ESB class and the being you with money. And one of the things he said about being you is the ease of space of your being. And it was awesome. I mean, it just lit up my world. And then I spoke to you about the being you class. We spoke and it just happened. So sometimes you just got to let consciousness lead us and take us, where it has to, and it'll open up amazing choices and journeys for us if only we can trust and allow it to and invite it to. So I wonder what the Being You class is going to create for you and for the world and for the Andamans and everybody.
How does it get any better than this? I'm just so looking forward to this class. And yes, we are choosing it no matter what. And yeah, what else? How much fun can we have with this creation? And I'm literally getting goosebumps just
Me too.
for the class. So yeah. So
and just reach out to me for anything, any questions, anything on the itinerary, anything you'd like to know, in any which way I can contribute to you. I'll be more than happy. Yeah.
So also we are looking at finalizing everything, booking all the rooms and everything within the next 2 or 3 days, because the more you delay, the more expensive it will be. So we are blocking some certain amount of rooms. In case within the next 3 days, if you're choosing it, let us know so that you get it at this rate. Otherwise, you might have to make your own bookings later on and at whatever price that those resorts gives it to you. Whatever we've mentioned, the payments and all for that for the rooms especially, will have to go out well in advance. And you have the option to pay directly to the resort. And it's all at actuals, whatever it is. So the only thing we're taking from you is the payment for the class. Everything else is to be paid at the venue. All right, the food and whatever other options.
Smriti, apart from the advance that we might need to give to the hotel if they're choosing to come.
Yeah, I mentioned that, right? Within the next 3 days, you'll have to, you have the choice to either give to us or pay directly to the hotel that we booked. So that all the bookings get taken care of, and it's going to be a big group for us to sort of manage it. Just requesting for you to choose earlier for ease for all of us. All right, so thank you so much, everyone. And I have to go for the, if those of you who are, I'm not sure if all of you are part of that group, Exponentialize Your Life and Business. I'll be going live at around 8 o'clock, another 4 minutes from now for that. So we'll be running some global Earth wizardry clearings over there. It was something that was just conducted recently by Dr. Dain. So we'll be doing those clearings for the next 30 days. So every day you'll be seeing me there. All right. Please get in touch with Anisha or with me. Just drop in a message or whatever, in case you have any questions for this. All right, looking forward to seeing you guys.
Thank you, Smriti.
Bye. And in case you're choosing, you'll have to book your own flight tickets. That has to be booked by you. All right. Cool. Take care, guys. Looking forward to seeing you. Bye.
Bye. Bye.